What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another how-to video. And for all of you guys out there that collect helmets, one of the things that's a challenge is how to display them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a simple, cheap, and easy display stand. So let's get started. All right, so let's talk about helmets and how to display them. There are several ways to display your helmets. You can sit them flat like this. There's styrofoam heads that you can find. You can do PVC. There's so many ways of doing it. The way I wanted to approach this was to show you a way that everything is local. You can go to Walmart and get everything that it takes to make a wall mount for your Black Series helmet, or for that fact, any helmet. So, let's see, and it's also using simple tools. We're going to use a screw gun, a screwdriver, a bit, and probably need a measuring tape or some kind of ruler, because you will need to do some measurements just to do placements. So let's talk about the items. First and foremost, like I said, Walmart. Everything I got at Walmart. It's back in the hardware section, except for one piece. So the main mount is a wall mount paper towel, right there. It's made by Mainstay. You could, in theory, actually use this alone. So you've got two options here. You can mount this to a backboard, or actually mount this straight to the wall, and it actually would work as well. We will do modifications to this. We'll get to that. The next piece of the puzzle is a couple of options. Option number one, excuse me, I actually had that too far away, is the Walmart method, which is these pre-done shelves. These shelves are back in the hardware section as well. They come in white, black, and wood grain, I do believe. I actually found these, and I like these a little bit better than the original way that I was going to do it. And the original way was you had to go to, I went to Home Depot, and I purchased some MDF board. MDF board, medium density fiber board. This is great stuff. It's nice and smooth. There's no knots in it. You can paint it. You can put stencils on it. There's so much you can do to this. This was my original thought process, was to use this, until I went to Walmart to pick up the paper towel holders. I found these. So this is the route I'm going to go, because I want this to be something to where you don't even have to paint it. This you would have to paint. I actually took one and done a pre-paint right there. Done a little, some Death Watch colors, but you can see it paints well, and you can do whatever you want with it. So yeah, that was another option. The MDF board, I got 4 pieces out of a 2-foot by 4-foot section. So there you go. It was $12 at Home Depot. So I tell you what, guys, I'm going to get this stuff unwrapped. And also, I picked up a wire or a picture frame kit. There's a couple of options you can do with this. This particular one is the one I'm looking at, but I may go with a wire option. I don't know, because if I want to use it down here, I might do a wire. So I haven't decided which route I'm going to go with this. I also picked up a bag of screws. Altogether, all 4 of these things here at Walmart, we got, I think, $5 for the shelf, $7.21 for the paper towel hanger. I think this was like $1, and I think this was like a couple of bucks. So let's just round it up to 4. We'll call this $8. So we're at 14. And say $5 for this, $19. So $20, you can make a wall mount for your helmet. So Tell you what, I'm going to get the helmet out of the way. I'm going to get this stuff unwrapped, and we're going to get to building. All right, so I've got everything laid out. This I don't need at the moment. These screws, not at the moment. These screws here actually come with the paper towel holder. So these are actually to do wall mounts. So technically, if you decide to do a wall mount directly into a wall, it actually comes with what you need. So first things first, you got to take a look at the board itself. This is how simple this is. So this is actually going to mount to this board. Now, this is where it becomes personal preference. Now, me personally, let me get my helmet over here. I'm going to use my Boba Fett prototype that I did the repaint on. Some people may want the helmet or the back plate to be past the actual helmet. These shells actually work really good because they're almost the same width as the helmet, as you can see right there. So it actually worked out really good. If I take one of my Clone Trooper helmets right here, again, it's almost perfect. So I think this is actually a really nice option. The thing you have to think about is how you want it displayed. Couple of ways. You could go higher and actually do a plate, like a name plate of what the helmet is. You could go lower, put a plate at the top. You could try to do dead center. I think I'm going to try to go more center. So the helmet itself works great with this actual piece here. Now, here's where the modifications are going to come in. This bar is actually a little too long, and it actually has a gap right here, or creates too much dead space. So we'll probably have to actually cut this down, probably an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches. Once you do that, it actually should put the helmet something like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to basically I'm going to get one of my 1, 2, 3 blocks, put it right there, get a tape measure and get a rough estimate of how far this is from the bottom. So I'm going to the center of the screw hole right here. So when I do the measurement, I actually want to measure to the center of this screw hole. So I'm going to put that right there. I'm actually going to bring it over. This will help hold that in. And I think 7 inches is more than enough to get this where I want it at. So if I put the actual center right there, so 7 inches, this gives me an eyeball perspective because I know that I'm going to be taking some length off of this, so it should counteract it quite sufficiently. So now I know 7 inches. I'm going to take a piece of tape. Actually do a couple of pieces. I can ballpark it. So the ballpark figure right there. I'm going to take my handy dandy pencil here. Give me a 7-inch mark right there. Boom. So that lets me know exactly where my 7 inches is. I'm going to take another piece of tape and come on top of the line, like so. Then I'm going to come over like this right here, like so. Boom. All right. Get our handy dandy tape measure out again. Make a couple of 7-inch reference marks right there. I like to make a few of them just so I know for sure what's going on. Voila. I did forget to get out my my big ruler. So right here, just line up the lines. I just want to draw a straight line across. Boom. All right. Now then we're going to come across. We got to get the center. It's exactly 10 inches. So that's nice. 10 inches wide. That means we only got to do 5 inches. Like so. Make another 5-inch mark. And one more. Voila. Take my small ruler. Get this lined up like so. There we go. All right. Now we got center. All right. So now we're going to take, we know that we want this line here, the 7-inch line, to be where the center is on the actual screw hole right here. So the only thing you got to do, you can actually use this hole as a peep sight. Let me show you what I mean by that. So we've got the board, we've got the line, we've got the cross. You can take and look through the screw hole and actually line it up with this horizontal line. And that'll actually help you figure out exactly where your screws are going to go. So we're going to do that. I've got my line here. So I'm just going to line that up. I'm doing a side alignment straight down. I want to come all the way down to where I see my line right there. Line up my screw holes. Take my pencil. Mark the holes. And voila. You are officially got them marked. Next step. We get to drill some holes. Now, the purpose, we're not drilling all the way through. Only thing we're going to do is start the holes, make pilot holes. That'll actually help the screws get started. Because I'm telling you, this is actually pretty hard. So trying to put a screw in it would be that'd be a hard job. Boom. There's that one. Let me get this board flipped around. We'll get this one started. Voila. All right. At this point, you can actually take your mount again, double check and see. We got good screws right there. Everything looks nice and straight. We're still lined up with the actual horizontal line. The beauty of this method is now you don't need a square or a level, because if your measurements are right and you come across the center of the hole, you're good. So yeah, we're spot on. So tell you what, I tell you what, I'm going to go check out one more thing and I'll be right back and we will actually mount this to the actual board. All right, we're back, and what I forgot to bring down and show you guys is I want to show you the actual bit I was using. This is just a simple little drill bit set that I got, but it's the 7/64 right there. That's the size of the bit that I'm using. So let's finish getting these holes. You don't want to go all, I mean, you can go all the way through if you want to, but this, again, this is more pilot holes just to get the process started. Now we can actually get rid of all the tape because we're done. We've got our pilot holes drilled right there. So now let's get us some screws out, and the screws that I'm using are number 8 3/4 inch. And you can get these. This is a pack of 20. And I think it was less than $1 or just a hair over $1. Now, the one thing I would recommend is you can use your power drill. I would recommend using a hand screwdriver at first, just to get the feel for it, get the hole started. Because once you drill the pilot hole, the screws are going to go in so much easier. And you want the pilot hole a little bit smaller than the actual screw you're using. So in other words, you don't want to drill the hole the same size as the screw. All right, here we go. Get this bad boy started. And again, the whole purpose of this is just to show you on a budget how to actually create some wall mounts. And it's something that you can do over the course of time. That's not going to cost a lot of money. So I'm actually going to get a couple of my 1, 2 blocks, 1, 2, 3 blocks, so I can lift this up off the table, because I don't want to screw into my table, you know. And when I'm doing it, let's me put my hand underneath here just to make sure that it's not coming through. Right there, snug. Let's flip this around, get my hand underneath here. This is another reason why you don't want to use a power drill, because when you're trying to feel underneath, you don't want the screw to actually come through and bite you in the finger. So there we go. We do have a couple of little indentions, but that's okay because we didn't go all the way through. So there we go. The actual mount is there. Get these blocks out of the way, and I'll show you briefly what it would look like as is. And this is where you can make the decisions yourself. So right there. But you can see the length right here. And this is what we got to adjust for. So I'll tell you what, let me clear some of this stuff away, and we'll get ready to adjust the rod. All right, here we go. We got it. We got everything assembled. It's laying nice and flat. That's what you want. But now we need to adjust this rod, and I think we can actually demonstrate this a little bit from this angle. So if you bring the helmet down, you see the kind of gap you have right here. Now, if that may be okay with you, if it is, you're done. Just now you got to hang it. Me personally, I want it to come down a little. I want it to come down a little bit further. I don't know. I think it would look a little better. So I'm just doing a little rough estimate here. So if I actually brought this down another 1.5 inches, I think 1.5 inches would work. Me personally, I think 1.5 inches would put the actual piece down more close to the edge right here. Because if I look at the front of the helmet, the front here coming down like so. So if we take our ruler and we come up to the edge of the helmet, that would be the front edge, which the back edge is there. So now if we come back here and look, I just eyeball it, 1 inch to 1.5 inches. So I think I'm going to go more towards 1.5 inches. That's what I'm going to do. 1.5 inches it is. So I'm going to take my tape. I'm going to grab a marker just in case. Got my pencil. Now, here's the beauty of this. This little end right here actually twists off. So you can actually reuse your cap piece. So I'm going to take my trusty tape. I'm going to go ahead and just put a piece right here on the edge and just roll it over. It'll make sense here in a minute. Take my ruler or my tape measure, and we're going to do 1.5 inches. We'll be adding, because of this thickness here, which the thickness of this is 1/8 of an inch. So we're actually going to add 1/8 back. So I think 1.5 inches will work out perfect. Let me take one more measurement. There we go. And the next piece of the puzzle, Dremel tool. Hacksaw will work. I have a Dremel tool. So let me get my cutoff wheel set up, and then we will cut this bad boy off. And we're almost done. So I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Got my Dremel tool. I actually use a flex shaft with my Dremel tool. I find that it's easier to control. And we're ready to cut. But first and foremost, safety first. Anytime you're doing any kind of grinding or anything like that, eye protection, you got to use it. This particular wheel that I'm using, I've used this wheel for multiple things. I used it to cut out my resin Lone Wolf Customs helmet. I'm pretty sure that this will cut this. I hope it does, because this particular wheel here actually cuts and sands at the same time. So hopefully that'll work. So I'll tell you what, apologies for the noise. Let's get this thing going, and let's finish this project. Woo, that was loud. That was loud. But there we go. Got to cut off right there. You may notice I actually had this cloth here. The cloth actually helps collect the actual dust. So now you can just fold it. We'll put it aside for the moment. Now then, everything's still good. Let's get this tape. There's a reason for that. You actually get some good lines. No noticeable burrs. Take our end cap. Pop it back on. Easy breezy. And we're almost done. I think we're close. Let's get the helmet. Did I calculate this correctly? Oh, I think I did. Look at that. Right there. I mean, you've got a legit helmet right there. You got a wall-mounted helmet. Boom. Right there. Look at that. That is on point right there. So, tell you what, guys, next step is we're going to put some rubber bumpers and figure out which hanger I'm going to use. So I have a decision to make, and while I make that decision, I'll be back when I make it. So I'll be right back, guys. All right, we're back. Yeah, I had to go find my rubber bushings right there. Not bushings, but little rubber bumpers. Little rubber bumpers. I actually had to go upstairs because Kim had them. I didn't. So the rubber bumpers, they're designed for one thing and one thing only, to keep something off of a wall. So come to each corner, press a bumper, and come down here. They don't have to be perfect. They're just designed to keep from marring up a wall. And just need 4 of them. That's all you need. 1 at each corner. Voila, bumpers. Now, here's where the decisions are coming to bear. Is I'm trying to decide. I think I know how I'm going to hang it. But parts of me's wondering if I want to try to create a couple of options. Let's get this thing opened. Hopefully. All right. So the first option I had was, I call them teeth hangers. These are designed, you place it in the middle. It comes with some nails, and you put a screw in the wall or nail in the wall, and you hang it. I'm thinking that I'd like to hang these back here, like where, these helmets are hanging on these shafts right here. So I'm thinking I may go with more of a wire approach. And the wire approach, basically, you have a couple of these eyelets or eye screws, and you mount those. Then you actually have some wire cable here, and you create basically a loop. Not a loop, but you span it across, and you can hang that from a nail as well. So I don't think I'm going to go this route. I think I'm going to go this route. So what I need to do now, I need to do a little bit of measuring, and then when I come back, we will, what I need to do is measure more of the wire here. So, and then we'll put these little eye screws in, attach this, and we'll be done, and we'll be able to hang it. So I'll be right back. All right, so what I did was I wanted to try to figure out, and sometimes you just got to take a break, and you got to do the math. You have to think about things and look at things multiple ways. So instead of filming me just sitting here trying to calculate things, I went ahead and pretty much have things figured out the way I want it. So I am going to do the wire method. I am going to utilize this section right here. And it's going to be 10 inches is what I need for my wire to go straight across. So that should work. So what I'm going to do, so I know it's 10 inches. If you did the normal wall method, that's easy breezy. You just hang it, boom, you're done. But since I'm going with the wire method, I got to have 10 inches. So let me do this. I'm actually going to utilize another piece of tape. We're going to come down to where I can roughly center this piece of tape so I can mark my 10 inches. Let me just go ahead and stretch this out. 10 inches right there. Flip it over on this side. Take another piece of tape. And I don't need the tape to go all the way across because this is where I'm looking at for my my little eyelets. And 10 inches right there. Boom. All right. So 10 inches. I think what I'm also going to do is, it's not that big of a deal to do it. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. So that way it's actually, and that's another tip too. Once you get your actual bar measured, you can actually take this off and cut it because you've already got the holes. So it's easy breezy to put back on. There we go. But now I should be able to flip this over. Yes. All right. So now then, we've got our two eyelets right here. And we got our wire. We got our marks. Now I'm going to try to figure out how far in to make it, which I'm just going to go an inch. I think an inch is perfectly fine. You know, make it easy. Let me pop the camera down here, and that way you can see what I'm doing. Apologies for that. So basically, I'm just going to take my ruler. There's my mark there. So I'm just going to draw a line and then do one right there. And then voila. X marks the spot. Let me do this. I'm going to use my longer ruler here because I want to make sure that is completely parallel. There we go. That's better. Take my 1 inch. And voila. Boom. All right. Once again, we're going to pre-drill. Now, that's a pretty small screw. Doesn't need a very large pilot hole at all. We're done with the 7/64. Put that back. And we're going to drill a little bit of a hole here. Not deep at all. Boom. Now the fun part begins. We'll go ahead and take the tape off. We're done with that. So, now we try to get these little things started. This should be it's definitely a lot easier with you drilling the hole. Because once you start feeling the resistance, she'll go in nice and easy at that point. Now, another thing, little screwdriver. Insert it in. Whole lot easier on your fingers. And voila, there's that one. Get this one started. There we go. Getting there. You know me, I love projects. This actually worked with an Allen wrench as well. But there we go. Let me double check. I think I can actually take them down a little further. I think I am. I'm going to take them down. Put my thumb back in here. These should not come through. But what I want to do is take it down flush with the circle right there. Whoops. And flush. Nice and straight. I'm going to take that one more round. There we go. Take that one way round. Boom. All right. Wire. The metal wire. So I'm probably going to leave this relatively, I'm not going to make it taut, in other words. So I'm going to go ahead and run this all the way through both, like so. Grab about, how much I got right there? I think that's probably a little bit more than an inch. That's about 2 inches of wire. Now this is crucial. You have to, you need to really wind this and get it tight. So I recommend 2 inches of wire. That should let you have more than enough to secure this thing, because you're going to be putting weight on it. And this is metal, this is steel wire, so There you go. Boom. Now then, I need to think. I'm going to go over the bars. So I'm thinking like right there. That would be about another 2 inches. Yeah, that'll work. Trust the needle nose. Get that cut. There we go. All right, so a little bit of a gap like that. We'll make that just a hair looser right there. Boom. And again, you're just going to twist this wire all the way around. Tell you what I'm going to do before I get too carried away. I want to test fit it. Oh yeah. Yep. So that goes over the 2 rods perfectly. So I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and finish getting this thing wired up. And when I come back, we'll have it all together and we'll see what it looks like. Be right back. All right, guys, there we go. Finished, complete. A wall-mounted or rack-mounted helmet holder. And as you can see, that's pretty legit clean right there. That's clean. It looks great. The helmet actually fits great on it. Now, I'll probably do this at some point, but you can actually go to Hobby Lobby and you can buy some of the styrofoam balls, cut them in half, and actually mount one right here. That will affect the height. So I recommend build the mount first, get your helmets on it, then go and put either styrofoam or foam or anything. But as you can see, there's a Black Series helmet right there. Looks great. Let me put this over here. Just grab a clone. Check the clone helmet out. Boom. Looks great. There's still enough of this that to me actually makes it look really good. So yeah, guys, there you go. Simple, easy, wall mounted Black Series or whatever kind of helmet you got. You can mount it on the wall, however you want to do it. So I think this is pretty cool. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think, of how you think about this. I think this is actually a really cool thing. Also, you could drill through this and physically mount this with 4 screws. That's entirely up to you, but I think that's going to do it for this how-to, guys. So I got some more to make, but definitely let me know in the comments what you think. Also, if this is your first time to my channel, please make sure and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you got notifications turned on. That way you know when I drop videos. And always remember, toys and projects refreshes your soul. And I'll see you next time.